This is a Dude Studios production. And hey, I'm the dude. I want to take a second to talk about the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped.com. It contains the Lawnmower 4.0, an all-new skin-safe electric trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant, Crop Reviver ball spray toner, Magic Mats disposable shaving mats. It also contains 2 free gifts: the Shed, which is a travel bag to keep everything in, and Manscaped Boxers, anti-chafing boxers. Go to manscaped.com right now and use promo code HeyBartender at checkout and get 20% off your entire order plus free shipping. You can't beat that. 20% off plus free shipping. It's coming up on Christmas time. It would be the perfect gift for that man in your life. Or if you just need it for yourself, just so you can feel a little bit better, a little bit more secure, go to manscaped.com and use promo code HeyBartender to get 20% off plus free shipping. Go there today.
Hey, I'm Christina from Doc Holliday in New York City, and you're listening to Hey Bartender podcast.
Hey bartender, pass me a drink. The reason that I'm here is I need time to think.
I work at a dive bar, so what I give you is my special.
Yeah, I've done that before where I forgot to write on the board, you know, the drink special of the night, and they say they come up to me and they say, "What's the drink special?" And I go, "Oh shit. Well, what do you want?" And they said, "How about and then I say, "That's not it."
Yep.
Just to bring.
You'll get what I give you.
Yeah, bring him down just a little bit, you know. But anyway, so welcome to Hey Bartender podcast, Christina. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And this is really cool. I've looked at your Instagram photos, and looks like that you're really into photography and makeup art. Because some of the makeup stuff that I saw on there were just like your Halloween photos, or they were just like, wow.
Oh, with my bloody eye.
Oh, that one freaked me out.
I bartended with one eye that night. I could not see out of my left eye.
Was there a depth perception problem ever?
Oh, yeah. It was great. But I was joking around with people. Like, I was trying to hand them stuff, and it kept falling. And I was like, sorry, I can't see. And they would just crack up. But I did it. 8 hours with one eye. I think everyone should do it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. You know, I would use it as an excuse of why I drop things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you were farther away. Anyway, welcome to the show. Why don't you take a minute to tell people a little bit about yourself?
All right. So I'm Christina. I work at a bar called Doc Holliday. I've been there for, I think, 7 years now. I've been in New York City for 11 years. I went here for art school, and I just stayed. And that's me.
That's cool. So Doc Holliday's is a bar in New York.
Yes, it's on Avenue A and 9th. Our address is 141 Avenue A. You should come any day. We're open 12 to 4, no matter what.
No matter what.
The zombie apocalypse could be happening, and it would still be open. So we got you.
Cool. Okay, during the purge, we're all heading to Doc Holliday's. Nice.
But I can't wait to see you.
That's a cool name for a bar. And you said it's just a regular dive bar, or just like a hole in the wall?
It's a country dive bar. I mean, there was that cowboy Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There are a few other bars called Doc Holliday Saloon. I believe there's one in Nashville, and there's also one in Colorado, but we're not related.
Okay.
But yeah,
good to know.
Paying homage to the dude, I guess.
Yeah. Well, most I know about Doc Holliday is from what Val Kilmer portrayed in the movie Tombstone, and he rocked in that movie. So,
is it bad to say that I still haven't seen it?
No, it's not bad.
I get so much shit.
No, it's not bad. In my mind, it's not bad to see it, but I think it's one of my top 10 desert island movies. So,
okay.
But if you get an opportunity, it's got to be on one of those streaming services. You know?
I know. I got to just bite the bullet and watch it.
But anyway, so to get things started, as usual, like I've been warning you since I don't know, a couple days ago. I encourage my bartenders that when they come onto the show to have a drink special, whether it's something that they invented or just something that they enjoy pouring or just something that they enjoy on their own. Do you have a drink special for us today?
I mean, this is going to be really weird because I don't like the drink, but I enjoy making it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I make really good Bloody Marys on Sundays.
Oh, really?
I love making Bloody Marys. I do that every Sunday, but I hate drinking them. I don't like Bloody Marys, but I love making them. So if you are in the mood, come Sunday.
Now, Bloody Marys, martinis, they're almost like a fingerprint for every bartender of how they make it. Do you do anything special for your Bloody Marys?
I don't know. I mean, I like to add a lot of the Old Bay seasoning in it.
Now, do you like put in enough horseradish to make somebody's nose catch on fire, or do you do
that's what they want? I always make sure that they want it spicy.
Ah.
If you want it spicy, I'll kick your ass. But, you know, you always got to act first, though.
Do you have a favorite garnish that goes in there? Because I've seen 3 different things. I've seen just olives, celery if it's available, pepperoncinis. I've seen that too. What's your favorite garnish?
So here's the thing. Before quarantine, I did one Sunday. I bought all the garnishes, like shit ton of shit. And nobody ordered a Bloody Mary that day. So I was like, all right, never mind. So now, after quarantine, we don't have any garnishes. So None. It's honestly just the drink. You're going to take it as it is. You don't need anything pretty coming out of it, and it's still good.
Well, I've seen over-garnished drinks before anyway, so that, yeah. But
and that's usually what all their hype is just the garnishes, but it matters. The drink is what matters, you know?
Sure. I think martinis, real connoisseurs of martinis insist that you have to have the olive in there or the onion or whatever they, well, that's a Gibson if you put an onion in it, right? I think. I
mean, I'm a fan of olives, so the more olives, the better.
So like at least 3 olives in your martini then.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I have martinis, I tell them that I just want olive juice and a splash of vodka.
Oh, yeah. Cool. No need to bother with the vermouth and.
Yeah, just olive juice.
But since you love olives, though, do you accidentally catch yourself grazing out of the speed tray?
So we don't do martinis at Doc's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not like a cocktail bar. We don't have vermouth. We don't have special garnishes or. Yeah, we're just it's beer and shot, and then we can do vodka sodas and shit like that. But
sounds pretty simple though. Just a drink in a mixer. I mean,
yeah,
a spirit in a mixer.
We're take it or leave it. We're easy.
Yeah,
we got to be fast. I don't got time to stop and make you a 10-minute drink.
Yeah, and if somebody asks for something blended, do you throw something at them or?
I tell them to look on the ceiling. I was like, we have boots hanging from the ceiling. I'm like, do you really think we have it? Like, I got an ice cold Bud Light right here for you.
That's cool. So let's go back a little bit. Let's get started. You said you moved to New York City 11 years ago for art school. Did you go to the Art Institute or which art school?
I went to School of Visual Arts.
Oh, okay. And
it's in Manhattan, yeah.
Wow. I went to school in Manhattan. That had... now, this is a stupid question that may sound off base, but I'm sure 1 or 2 people that listen to my show think about this. Living in a city like Manhattan, because the biggest city that I've ever lived in downtown was Seattle. And there were advantages and disadvantages. Advantage was I could either walk or ride my bike anywhere. But the disadvantage was I was buying from like little corner markets that their prices were like 50 to 100% higher than anywhere else. And did you live in Manhattan or did you live outside of Manhattan?
During college, I was in Manhattan.
So
I was in.
You're a broke college student that has to try to live off of like the corner delis and stuff like that.
I had 2 to 3 jobs when I was in school. I was a hustler.
But you made it through.
I did.
Sacrifice maybe a little bit of sleep here and there and
sleep, internships, parties. I was a very boring college student.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I could top that, but I'm not going to. But because I've always worried about the cost of living, because I've had a couple bartenders on this show that are from the New York area, and whether they work in downtown New York or just outside of Manhattan, and they're living in, some of them, one or two of them said they live in a shoebox, and other ones say they have to commute quite a ways in order to get to their job because the price of living is more reasonable outside of town. So just starting out in New York, was there a culture shock? Because where are you originally from?
I'm from South Jersey originally.
Oh, Jersey.
So it wasn't
Nice.
too much of like a culture shock. I've been to the city beforehand.
Mm.
But I guess, so the first 3 years I was dorming, so it was all like student loans.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to worry about that. Now I'm worrying about it. But then afterwards, I lived in Brooklyn a few times. I was on the Upper East Side. I was in Jersey City, and now I'm back on the Lower East Side. So I've been all over. The rent has been pretty much the same, like,
Yeah.
But, bartending in the city, you have to put up with a lot of shit, but the pay is good.
Yeah.
You know?
You mentioned Jersey, and I'm a pop culture junkie, and immediately I start thinking of Leonardo, New Jersey, and then start thinking of Quick Stop RST Video from all of Kevin Smith's movies. But that was probably nowhere near where you live, the Quick Stop and all that stuff.
I mean, we had a few. There's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We had there was a Circle K in one of the towns I lived by. So Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, they were hanging out outside the Circle K.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so we got some cool stuff going on.
Okay, so after living in New York for 3 years, you decided to start. Was that your first service industry job when you said you started 7 years ago?
Oh, no. So I built my way up, I guess. So when I was in college, I did everything. I worked at a coffee shop. I was a cashier at an Italian grocery store. And then from there, I went to being a hostess. And then after that, I got a job as a waitress at an Irish pub in the East Village.
Ooh.
And I was there for a year or so. And then after that, I got my first bartending gig at a bar that I'd rather not name. And then from there, I met one of my good friends who got me the job at Doc Holliday.
So you've been in Doc Holliday's for a while.
He told me about Doc. He was like, "You're unhappy here. Go check out Doc Holliday's. Mention my name, tell them that you know me, and just, you're going to do great." And then I've been there ever since.
So you've been at Doc Holliday's for quite a while then.
Yeah, I've been there for 7 years.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
At Doc.
And just because you were unhappy, your friend at least realized you were unhappy and you needed a better place to be.
Oh, yeah. He helped me out. So shout out to him. That's Rob Barassi. He works at International Bar. You should interview him. He's a hoot and a holler, that guy.
You know what? I'll have to check my messages because I think I did hit him up at one time. But anyway.
Okay.
But remind him.
I will.
But so you did all this. You started out when just to pay make ends meet and pay the bills in college, and now I'm a big supporter of people that want to get want to get a good education, but they can't make ends meet, and so get a job in the service industry, and then they'll work with your hours a little bit better than trying to get a job with a temp agency or try to get a job working internships or anything like that, because your school hours are important, but then all of a sudden also your school hours are during the hours of the internship, and so there's really no help there. But so your thoughts on working the service industry while you're going to school, did that work out well for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was really convenient because I got I didn't get my bartending shifts until after I graduated. But I think that, now I work either 3 to 4 days a week. And it's just, I have extra days to work on my photography. I haven't in a long time, but, I I just recently booked a studio.
Oh, wow.
So I have that free time. I have those extra 3 days to do whatever I want instead of I can only do stuff on weekends.
Yeah. Well,
So
internships, I started hating them because I studied audio production in Seattle. And
okay.
one of the requirements for the school was that you had to do an internship for a 6-month internship. And that was really hard to find because everybody was looking for internships at the same time. But the only thing that you really learned, or at least the only thing that I learned doing an internship, was where the best place to get bagels and coffee was. I didn't learn anything else.
Yeah. I had only one internship in my entire New York life, I guess. And it was after I graduated, and I interned at a gallery for, I think it was like 3 months, but it was cool. I got to meet cool people. I got to have my work a part of a show.
Oh, nice.
But nothing ever came about, you know?
Yeah. It's supposed to be a learning experience, but you don't really, I never felt like I learned anything.
I mean, I guess I can like say that I know how to like curate a show and I can hang shit up.
Well,
but other than that, I mean, I like to do things myself.
Well, like bartending, presentations, half the battle some of the time. Knowing where to hang something, how to light something, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, at least from what I know.
Yeah. Oh, well, Doc Holiday's is a mess, but it's a beautiful mess.
Well, the best bars are
we
always...
have shit everywhere.
Well, the best bars are the ones that are like dark and dingy, and you make Doc Holliday sound like that. And
oh, well, we have these great windows around the whole bar, so it's like the bar's right on a corner, so it's a perfect spot for like people watching if you're down for that. Like there is light, but like when it gets dark out, we have like Christmas lights and we dim everything, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's just, we have shit on the walls. Like we have signs on the back of the bar. It's just, we have a lot of stuff.
And it's Western themed, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I would say so. It's more heavily, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have an old school jukebox that's mostly filled with country artists.
Does it get used
Sometimes
much?
I like to push the envelope and I have my own CD that has, Blondie and Real Big Fish on it, but
yeah, you got to throw your customers off every once in a while.
yeah, you got to add something, to get the party going.
Yeah. Well, I used to screw with my customers because, I had the access to the jukebox where I can give myself free credits and put songs in, but I would play like really obscure tracks from like the Monkees or like completely throw everybody off. I thought it would throw everybody off, but like songs from the album Make It Big from Wham, and put something on there, but everybody ended up enjoying the hell out of it, and I'm like,
that's awesome though. Hell yeah.
It's not the reaction I wanted though. But you'll throw people off and put on your own music every once in a while, it sounds like.
Sometimes. I mean, we do have, at the end of the last Friday of every month, we do an 80s night. So I have like a playlist of all like 80s rock and other 80s music, but it's mostly for like me and the bartender because I love the jukebox, but when you hear the same song over and over and over again, you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
80s night.
Yeah, I've said many, many, many times on this podcast, I used to love the song Freebird, but then I became a bartender.
So that got taken off the jukebox. That got taken off, and The Devil Went Down to Georgia got taken off, and Sweet Home Alabama got taken off the jukebox.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. So the bar that shall not be named, you were working there. You were miserable.
I was there for like a year. It wasn't that I was miserable. It was just like towards the end, there was just feelings being passed around that I guess that, I don't know. I think the manager at the time did not like me. It just wasn't a good fit.
Some political type of stuff. Yeah.
Just bar political stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I had a feeling that I was going to get fired. So I was just like, you know what? And then Rob was just like, go to Doc's. And I did, and I never left.
Well, that's kind of a cool thing. A lot of bartenders will help out other bartenders find a bar to work at.
For sure. It's a very nice community of people that were just like the other day, I have a bartender friend who works down the block, and she sent a group message being like, hey, there's this guy handing out fake 20s trying to get a seltzer. Like, watch out for him. So it's just like we're all like in the loop in like the East Village, you know?
Yeah. So back when I bartended, we didn't have text messaging yet. Well, we kind of did, but it cost a fortune. Because I was, I had the Nokia 5100 series. That's how far back I go. And
there you go. You got to play Snake a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I did pretty good at that game. But anyway, we didn't really have the opportunity. We did have the telephone game where I would call the bar across the street saying, there's these two guys. They're a little drunk. You might want to keep an eye on them. It was between me and like two other bars. There was a fourth bar in that same town, but we left them alone because they would send their drunk people over to us. And so we were just screw them. They can fend for themselves.
Yeah.
But I love these stories. Do you have an example? I mean, because I love these stories I've had from all my guests where they automatically have this like group chat going where, like guy wearing a red leather jacket is, something's up with them. Do you have a story about that?
Oh yeah. There's been a few times where we've gotten emails or text messages of like a picture of a man being like, this guy did this, don't let him in. Or if you see him, like report him. Like there's been some shady shit happening, but we all keep it like when there's something like that happening, it's like, we send the photo out, don't let him in. This is what he did type of thing. Oh
yeah. Yeah. But it was all over like landlines for me, but it's cool that everybody has everybody's cell phone number nowadays. That makes it way easier. So you move on to Doc's. Now, did you know about Doc's before you went there?
I did not.
So you walked in there cold, didn't know anything about the atmosphere or anything like that?
Nope. I remember I walked in and Steve Miller Band was playing. I believe it was either them or the Allman Brother Band. And my dad always played it during like our summer barbecues. And I was just like, oh, wow, like they play really good music here. Like I can get used to this. So I talked to the manager, who's still the manager now. Shout out to Joanna. Thank you for hiring me. But I talked to her and one of our regulars, Ed, rest in peace to Ed. He passed away during COVID. But him, Joanna, and a previous bartender came to the bar that I was working at, and they scoped me out to see if I would be a good fit for Doc's, and I guess I was, and she hired me.
Now, what do you think made you a good fit for Doc's?
I would like to say my personality.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a sarcastic asshole.
Well, I love that every bartender, including myself, will say, well, I was kind of sarcastic and kind of a jerk, but I think that's why people liked me.
I mean, all my regulars say, they're like, you started off so sweet and nice, and now you're just an asshole. And I'm like, listen, a few years in the bartending game in New York will turn you into an asshole, but you're a fun asshole.
Well, yeah, we develop a darker sense of humor. We polish up our sarcasm that we haven't used for probably a few years. So yeah, that makes that makes a good bartender. And the
gift is always when you find those customers who, like, if you're dishing out your sarcasm and they accept it and they laugh and they give it right back, and you just have to pause and I find myself doing this. I'm just like, thank you for being so chill. And I'll like pour some shots. I'm like, because I've had people walk out or curse me out because they didn't understand my humor.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not trying to be like, this is just, I've literally had someone like walk out of the bar and like pour their drinks on the bar. I'm like, oh, okay. My bad.
I've talked about it on the show a lot of times, but my best comeback of all time left the guy so speechless. He it like froze him for like good 15, 20 seconds because he just all of a sudden decided to stand up at the bar and say, "You want to step outside?" And I looked him right in the eye and I said, "No, thanks. I don't need a blowjob right now." And it froze him.
Yes, that's amazing.
It froze him. He had nothing to say about that.
And everybody was probably watching and listening also.
My coworkers had to leave the bar because they didn't feel it would be appropriate to laugh, laugh in his face. But
that's amazing.
I think
that's so good.
I think I stole it from a movie.
That's the one thing I don't have that quick wit. So like whenever someone like comes at me and they like, I never had someone offer to fight me, but I've had people make rude comments about my body. And I always think about my comebacks after they leave. And I'm just like, damn it. I wish I was like quicker with that.
Yeah. But I think I got that from a movie one time. Then it stuck with me. And I decided to say it to this guy just because it was on my mind at the time. Why not? But sarcasm, that a lot of people didn't understand my sarcasm except for my coworkers. And then, some of the customers would say, "Oh, what's his problem?" And you go, "Oh, he was joking. You have to pay attention to him." Yep.
Like that's the thing. Like we have some regulars who will be listening and they're like, "Oh, she's joking." Like there was this one time. So I like to quote movies a lot too.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the one meme of it's Samuel L. Jackson and it's from the when he's like, "I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing."
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Yes, thank you. So I was like, I've been waiting to use that line forever. So because like when you're behind the bar and there's like 10 people like screaming their drinks at you and you're still like doing something. So it was a busy Friday night and I'm like talking to someone and I'm pouring their drinks and this girl starts yelling her drink order at me. And I turn to her and I say that. And I felt so good and her face just completely dropped. And my regular is sitting next to her and he's like, "She's kidding. Like, relax." And I'm like, and I had to explain, I'm like, "It's from a movie.
Yeah.
Chill out."
Yeah.
Like, I'll get you. But I finally got to say it and I was so excited.
Anything Samuel L. Jackson says, I would love to quote, but I can't think of things that he says at the right times. Do something like break a bottle and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I break your concentration?" But
yeah,
if we get stuck on Pulp Fiction like that, but yeah, I'm big on movie references. I can talk about music as long as it's about the Beatles, Metallica, or Billy Joel all day long.
There you go.
I mean, the biggest problem for me when I was bartending is a lot of people expect bartenders, particularly the male bartenders, to know everything about sports, be able to give them, talk highlights, talk statistics about any sport out there. And I don't know shit about sports. I mean,
same.
The only time I care about sports is if I have a bet going on like one of the major games or something like that.
Hey, bartender.
Mint Mobile has reimagined the wireless shopping experience and made it way easier. There's no stores, no salespeople, no nonsense. Just a huge savings on the nation's largest, most reliable 5G network. With plans as low as $15 a month, you have unlimited talk, unlimited text, and you can find the perfect data plan that suits you. You can even bring your old phone if you're still used to it. Or if you want to get rid of your old phone and upgrade, Mint Mobile has a large selection of phones for you to choose from. Just follow the link for Mint Mobile in the description of this podcast. Check out the plans and the opportunities for you to save some money with your new wireless service. Go to mintmobile.com today.
Hey, bartender.
Now, music, movies, you can come to talk to me any day. How about you? What's your favorite subjects that you could practically give a lecture while you're bartending?
I mean, I've gotten into conversations like with movies, there's my favorite thing to always bring up, like when there's like a lull, is like, all right, everybody, tell me your favorite conspiracy theory. And that makes people stop and they're like, what the fuck is about to happen?
Conspiracy theories.
Then we go around in a circle and we start talking about it, but then we start like digging it apart. It's crazy, but I love people who have like are weird, that have imaginations. Like another thing I always ask is, if you could be any mythical creature, what would you be? I'm trying to get inside your, like, I want to know if you have an imagination, if you're like a fun person. Like, let's have a conversation. I don't know.
Now, conspiracy theories, that can end up getting into like arguments. I mean, full on, no, you're wrong. This is what happened. We actually did land on the moon. No, we didn't. Or
the conspiracy theories that we're talking about is like, the one that blew my mind was said recently. Somebody was like, oh, my favorite conspiracy theory is that the pigeons are Big Brother. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, they're robots. He's like, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, why do you think they sit on the telephone wires? They're recharging. And I was just like, what is happening? But it blew my mind. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, now I want to go find the fucking baby pigeon.
No, I've
never seen one.
Yeah, those are fun conspiracies.
So we stick to fun. We don't do like
moon landings,
ones.
Flat Earth, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, those are fun to talk about.
Oh yeah. It was wild.
Most bored I ever got was when all of a sudden I challenged my customers at the bar. Okay, people, we're changing movie titles, regular movie titles into porno movie titles. Go. And
that's fun.
And yeah, some people had a little bit too much fun with it and scary imaginations when it came to it. But that's just me, you know.
See, that's when you have to start like writing that down and selling it to like the porno movie.
Right.
Like, hey, here you go.
And then become disappointed. Foreskin Gump, really? You've already made that? Okay. That's disgusting.
That was, wow. All right, there you go.
That's disgusting. I'm sorry about that.
I love it.
But yeah, what other goofy conspiracy? No, I apologize for calling it goofy, but
no, not goofy. I'm trying to think. I mean, my favorite one is the whole. I mean, I think everyone agrees that Marilyn Monroe was murdered by the mafia or the CIA.
Oh wow, really?
I mean, I believe that. That's one of my conspiracies. Is that that she was murdered because she knew too much about like JFK. And then that led to someone saying, oh, well, the CIA killed JFK. I was like, oh.
Well, so, I decided to start a rumor about that 1 or 2 years back just because I was bored and told everybody that Marilyn Monroe and JFK staged their deaths so they could run away together. Because JFK is Catholic and, you know, getting a divorce, or Christian, whatever he was, getting a divorce from Jackie O would have been bad. Yeah. So they just ran away together. But now
that would make sense. That would make sense. But then whose head got blown off? I mean,
yeah. The Zapruder,
that's in poor taste saying that, but
yeah, the Zapruder film kind of gives good.
But I believe that with Elvis. I think Elvis faked his own death.
You do.
Yeah. The same with Michael Jackson. I think he faked his own death also.
Yeah, I believe. I would believe that if it came up all of a sudden, Michael Jackson faked his own death. And yeah, that's cool. But
right, it's like okay, but like it's like did you ever see Death Becomes Her?
Yes.
So you know how there's that one scene where they're like in that castle and all you see is all like the old Hollywood celebrities that are supposedly dead, but they're all alive.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think it's like all those old Hollywood celebrities they're hanging out somewhere.
Well, Michael Jackson, most of his face was probably built by Lego, so he can change his appearance enough where people wouldn't recognize him.
But there was recently a video that came out that showed him coming out of a van.
Really?
That like he was, yeah. I mean, this is fucking internet videos too, so who the fuck knows?
Him hanging out with Tupac, or
maybe.
But Elvis is too old right now. So if it, saying that he's still alive is that probably isn't as interesting anymore. But saying Michael Jackson is still alive, or Tupac or Biggie, those would be mind blowing circumstances there. But
yeah,
it would be interesting for me. I mean, being a big Beatles fan, somebody said John Lennon's still alive. Now they can't say that because there were too many witnesses to him getting shot. And so they can't really get away with that one. But, the conspiracies of artists, Betty White's going to live forever.
I hope she does. I hope she does. There's always like that meme that's like, stop treading Betty White's name, because I keep thinking that she's dead.
Just a bunch of stuff like that. And that it's fun to think about and fun to debate about with the right people. The people that take it a little bit too seriously, and especially bar customers that are probably half lit, they're fun. But then you get that one person that takes a little bit too seriously, and then all of a sudden you're like, God, I wish I never brought that up. Is that how you get your customers talking around the bar? Just pick a conspiracy theory out and
yep.
Yeah,
so it's like we're all sitting in the same vicinity, so it's just like, all right, guys, I'm going to force you guys to talk to each other. But then it's also like, so I don't have to keep talking to you.
Once they're talking to each other, then you can go about your business.
So that I can walk away and be like, all right, let's go start this somewhere else.
But from when we were talking through text message earlier, you said that you were also interested in the paranormal.
Yes.
First question.
I pride myself on being a fucking weirdo. If I could work for ghost hunters or ghost adventures, I would like, hey, I'm going to plug myself right now. Ghost Adventures, call me. I would love to ghost hunt with you.
Yeah. Hell yeah. See, I don't know if you ever saw on my Instagram or my TikTok for Hey Bartender podcast, but I did all through October. I did haunted restaurants and bars, and I just went around from state to state and picked out the more interesting haunted bar stories. Some of the ones to me weren't that interesting because they were just saying it was just some weird spirit likes to knock down dishes, or but if it had a name attached to it, like there's a bar in Pennsylvania, I think, that Aaron Burr used to be Aaron Burr's carriage house, and the restaurant that is there right now is very, very, very top of the line fine dining. But they say Aaron Burr and his daughter frequently haunt that place. There have been people have spotted him in the corner. His daughter likes to knock earrings out of women's ears. And I had a lot of fun with that. If you haven't seen that, please go check it out.
I'll have to look into that. That's awesome. I love that.
But let me ask you, do you think any of the places that you've worked, including Doc's, is haunted?
I for sure believe that there's something in the basement of Doc's.
Like what?
There was one
What's your
time,
experience?
So it was me and the bouncer Kyle on a Wednesday night. And so I'm downstairs doing the paperwork, and he's doing the trash. And all of a sudden he's like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like in the office, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, there's a man's face behind the trash can. And I stopped what I'm doing. And I was like, Kyle, don't fuck with me right now. He's like, no, there's something there. And I like run out of the office, and I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. But there was nothing behind. I didn't see anything. But I think for sure there's something down there. It's weird down there sometimes.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun because I've been doing this podcast for 3 years, and every Halloween I go hunting for haunted restaurant and bar stories because one of the bars that I worked at, my boss was convinced there was a ghost there. She named him Phil. And, strange things happen around there. Things that I could blame Phil for, like I accidentally dropped a glass for no apparent reason, and a shard of glass went into my arm, and I had to dig it out. But it wasn't that bad. But Listening to some of the stories, I've gotten people to jump in and talk about their haunted restaurant stories. And there's one woman, her story was by far my favorite because she said that she refuses to wear her hair up during her bar shift because especially when she's there alone in the middle of the night, she can feel somebody breathing on her neck if her hair is up in a ponytail and there's nobody there.
I just got chills. I love that.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun to get people to, share their stories with me so I can use them for the show. But that one is pretty much the only one that that lives in my head rent free.
I mean, there's a running joke that the jukebox is haunted because it'll be not playing music and you'll just hear the pages start flipping. Mm-hmm. And you have to press a button to do that. Like it's an old school jukebox.
Yeah.
And the pages will just turn by themselves and you're just like staring at it being like, okay, jukebox is haunted. But there's that's like a running joke with like all the regulars who go there. That it's like, yep, there it goes.
One of the funnier moments when I bartended, we were closing up one night in the bar and we thought we shut off the volume to the jukebox because no music was playing. And then all of a sudden Spice World by the Spice Girls came on and, or what that Spice Up Your Life song. Anyway. Yeah. But, that song came out of nowhere and we all just stopped and looked at each other. And my friend Shannon, she all of a sudden yelled, "Damn it, Phil." And we all had a laugh about that and made sure that the jukebox was off. But then it became, that
would have been better if it was like a scarier song, you know?
Yeah.
Like freak people out.
Yeah. But not Spice Girls. Because apparently our ghosts.
That's funny though. That's good.
Apparently our ghosts like the Spice Girls. So tell me a little bit more of the atmosphere at Doc's. I don't want to say that it's like Cheers, but it is very like, we want to be friends. We want to be family with everybody, like where everybody knows your name. Yeah.
So I feel like it's just like, we have a lot of regulars where it's like, as soon as you walk in the door, you're just like, hey, like, what's going on? Come, like,
mm-hmm.
It's just all the regulars are friends with each other. Like, they're like, hey, I need help with shooting pool. Will you help me? And like, there's a group of guys that come and they practice pool.
No,
we have like other guys that they all go out together after. Like, it's just very friends and family oriented, I guess.
Sure. What percentage of your guests that come into your bar do you think that you serve them before they even say anything? I mean, they just, all you do, you see their car even pull up, or you see them in front of they're still 10 yards away from the door, and you get that Bud Light going before they even walk in. How often does that happen?
Probably all the it happens almost every time during my Sunday day shift.
Yeah.
The day shifts are more for like the OG regulars.
Yeah.
So there's like certain people that sit certain places, and I'll have their drinks. If I see them in like the window, I'll be like, all right, here's your Bud Light, and I'll when to have it ready for them before they're even done with it.
That's a sign of a really good bartender if you're on top of it before they even walk in the door. So good for you. And
thanks.
Yeah, but
been doing it long enough, right?
Yeah, when you've done it long enough. But now, a great bartender though, which I never was, they once told me that they had a customer that they gave them their first drink and they figured I might as well pour the next one, but because by the time I'm done pouring the next one, he's already done with that one. So and I'm like, really, you do that? You don't make them beg for it like a puppy or anything?
I don't know. There's this one guy who's we keep the bottle of liquor next to him because it's just like he doesn't ask. Every time his glass is empty, you just refill it, and then when he's done, he'll turn the glass over. So it's just, you got to constantly watch his rocks glass.
And any of the customers get a little anxious if the next drink isn't there immediately as soon as they hit the last drop or anything like that?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a nice relationship with our regulars where it's just like, if we're busy and they're like waiting for their drink, we can be like, hold on a second. Like, I see you. I got you.
Mm.
But most of the time they're like, they get it. Like, we get busy sometimes. So
Sure. Now, so, about some of the pictures I've seen that you've done on Instagram. Now, the makeup artistry, we talked about it a little bit already, but the makeup artistry, did you have a friend do that, or did you do that on your own?
no, I did the bloody eye by myself.
Oh, because that looked realistic, kind of gross, but
Thank you.
It looked very good.
Thank you. I wanted to be really gory for Halloween, and I was super excited to do that. My friend Lindsay, she had a bloody eye a few Halloweens ago, and she showed me the photo, and I was like, I want to do that. How did you do it? And she told me how she did it. So I just had her picture for reference, and I just did it myself.
It looked great. Now,
Thank you.
Now a little bit more about your photography, so we can plug that a little bit. When did you decide that you were into photography when you went to arts, or when you went to the art school, or?
So I took in high school, there was like those elective classes.
Mm.
So for, I think it was like all 4 years, I think I did photography in high school. And it was just something I really enjoyed. And I was like, I want to keep pursuing it.
Mm.
And I did.
Now,
my photography has definitely changed over the years.
Mm. Oh, huge. Yeah.
But, I mean, it relates back to like the paranormal stuff. So, during like, it was like the last 2 years of high school and the first 2 years of college, there was this one abandoned mental institution in North Jersey that I always went to take photographs. Like I got permission to go outside, but then if there was a door open, you weren't allowed to go inside. I was strictly told, don't go inside, but the doors are open. I'm going to go inside. So I have, but that's where like the paranormal stuff comes in, because that place for sure was haunted. I bought a voice recorder, and I put it inside one of the rooms, and we all left. And then we came back 15 minutes later, and we listened to it, and you can hear breathing like right next to it. You can hear doors closing. So like that was like a project of mine for 4 years, is that mental institution. I have patient files from 1936.
Oh, wow.
I did a lot of 4x5 photography there. And then I started to shoot more people. I always hated it because I like to have a lot of control with like the lighting, the fashion, the makeup. But, you know, I had to realize, all right, if I want to make money, I need to shoot people.
Right.
So that's what I do now, is mostly just people, but I like to do themes. Like I like to do, like, if I have an 80s theme, I like to do gels and like certain fashions. I collect vintage clothing. So I have a lot of 60s clothing that I like to use in my photos, and it's very theme oriented, I guess.
So theme wise, I mean, I've got a good friend, who I made friends with him when I was bartender. Both, I can relate to both stories. Me and my friends, we used to hang out at Damish Insane Asylum, where One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was filmed.
What?
And
that's amazing.
Yeah,
you need to tell me about it.
But I'll tell you about that later. But we used to go over there every once in a while. But he was a photographer. And one day he and I were talking about photography, and I think the conversation started with him saying that his specialty was taking pictures of old farm equipment. Now, I'm like, interesting to go thing to start taking pictures of. What specific, do you have anything specific that you like to, or are you looking for going to the asylum and hoping that one of the pictures that you develop later, all of a sudden, I don't remember seeing that there, or something like that?
I'm not sure what I was looking for. It was a weird attraction to just the architecture. I guess I was more in love with like the story, not like the story, but like what happened there. Like my heart went out to the people who died and were tortured there. So I I felt like when I think about it more, like after I was like done with it, I was like, okay, like these pictures are for them. Because I feel like there's those certain groups of people that go to those places and, you know, they ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
They do the graffiti, they break windows. And it's just, see, this is going to go back to paranormal shit real fast.
Yeah,
so
yeah, this is cool.
out of all the times I went there, I never felt scared. And I was never worried that something was going to like, I always felt that the spirits there were protecting me because I knew that my intentions were good.
Mm.
Because there was this one time me and a girl went and she's halfway through an open window and my back is looking out towards, I don't want to say a street because it's not on like a main road, but there was pavement for cops to like drive around, and a cop car literally drove right by us. We should have been arrested. He could have easily seen us, but he just kept going.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, so these spirits are watching my back. But that just makes me sound crazy, but that's just, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Anything, pretty much anything goes on this podcast. So,
so my art was for them. It was just, a lot of it was a lot of like the architecture. There's a few photos of the inside of the bedrooms, the hydrotherapy tub. One of my favorite photos was of a piano. And I have a video of myself playing it. I don't know how to play piano, but
Well, play a little heart and soul or chopsticks. Why not? Yeah.
I did my best.
Yeah. So yeah, just the architecture and of the building and some of the interiors. That's cool. Do you have any plans of doing like a gallery or anything like that?
So, my senior year of art school, they have like a mentor show where a few certain seniors get picked and they get paired up with mentors and you get to pit your work out. So what my work got selected. So I was with these patient files, there was fingerprints. So I did really close up photographs of the fingerprints and I blew them up to like 60 by 20.
Oh,
and wow. I just did really like abstract photos and I actually sold one of those at the show.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other, I was a part of another show. I think it was like my sophomore or junior year where I had the Insane Asylum photos hung up and I found 60 millimeter movie film, but it was like an instructional film about how the nurses should treat the patients.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I put that on a CD and I had that playing in the corner and I had all like the photos and the patient files hung up. So I got to show it. It's one of, I mean, in art school, you get, not that you get made fun of, but you get classified as ruin porn if you do like abandoned stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm really proud of that project. I love it. I still think it's beautiful. I still have everything that I took there. So.
Well, it's just another form of expression. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Call it ruin porn all you want. It's great and people still do it. So whatever.
Yeah. And it was probably more interesting than some of the photo galleries that I've seen where there's a museum near where in a couple towns over from where I live, where this photographer made a big deal about taking pictures of celebrities and rock stars and things like that. And I'm looking at these pictures going, these are no different than any other picture that I've ever seen. That picture of Gwen Stefani, I'm actually pretty sure I saw that in Rolling Stone, but when you actually have something that you're passionate about and you can, that you're interested in to express yourself with, that's awesome. I mean, have you ever taken any bar pictures?
So I actually just recently started. I've been bringing my 35 millimeter into work on like Friday night.
So you're old school. You're not digital.
So I do a lot of the work on my Instagram is digital of like the model, but I'm trying to do more film. I like to go back and forth, but I wanted to do really like black and white, high contrast.
Yeah.
So I've been starting to bring it to work and it's just telling people to pose real fast and just shooting.
Yeah.
So we'll see how those turn out.
Yeah. I'm sure those will turn out great. Hopefully you post them to Instagram so I can take a look at them a little bit later.
I will.
But anyway, we're coming up towards the end of the show. And I want to thank you so much, Christina, for being on the show, taking time out.
Thank you for having me. I was really honored that you asked me.
Hopefully I didn't harass you too much to be on the show. Honestly.
Not at all. This is great. I would do this again.
Yeah, awesome. If something else if something else comes up in your life that you want to promote, you're more than welcome to email me.
Thank you.
If people want to take a look at some of your artwork, or check you out on social media, how would they find you?
Instagram for sure. It's Christina_Dean, like James Dean.
Cool.
I also have a website, ChristinaMalazzi.com. But definitely Instagram. I'm always on it. I always post when I'm working, or photo shoots that I do. It's a mess, but I always post on it.
So if they go to your website, do they get to see some of the pictures you've taken? And
oh yeah.
And what was that website again?
ChristinaMalazzi.com. It's my real name.
Cool.
But anyway, it's also linked in my Instagram also. It's in my Instagram bio. So
that's cool. Okay. Yeah. So everybody check that out. Thank you so much, Christina, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, people, it is last call for alcohol. Come on up to the bar and order domestic, please. I think I'm almost out of the rare stuff. Anyway. So, thank you so much to Christina Dean for being on the show. Remember, people, if you want to be on Hey Bartender Podcast, talk about something that you want to promote yourself, promote your bar, all you have to do is just send me a message. Either email me, dude@heybartenderpodcast.com, or you can catch me on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those at Hey Bartender Podcast. And remember, if you want to help support Hey Bartender Podcast, go to www.heybartenderpodcast.com and go check out some of the swag I got on sale in there. I got t-shirts, got a challenge coin, sticker, whatever you need. Well, not whatever you need, because I can't afford all that. But go check it out. Buy yourself a t-shirt, support a podcast. That's what I always say. And a big thanks to Laura Hope and the Arctones for helping me use their song Dr. Bartender. Remember, you can go check out all their music. They just came out with a new Christmas song. Go check them out on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you download your music. And for Christ's sakes, go visit Christina Dean over at Doc Holiday's in New York. Sounds like a really groovy place to hang out. And maybe bring in an original conspiracy thing to talk to her about. That one with the pigeons, that was pretty good. That'll be hard to top. And as usual, remember to share, like, and subscribe to Hey Bartender Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, because I am here to support the food service industry, because nobody else is, it seems like. So, Hey Bartender Podcast is here to support the food service industry. Just tell your friends. But, as usual, that's the end of Hey Bartender Podcast, and I wish you all lots of love, lots of sex, lots of happiness, and remember, don't take any shit from anyone. Good night.
What do you mean it's last call? I just got here!